Hello, and welcome to our guide on technical interview questions for the tech industry. In this video, we'll go over some of the most common technical questions you may encounter in a tech interview and provide tips on how to approach them.
The first question you may be asked is, can you explain what object-oriented programming, OOP, is and how it works? When answering this question, start by explaining the basic concepts of OOP, such as encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. Then provide an example of how you've used OOP in a project and the benefits it provided. Another common technical question is, what is the difference between a stack and a queue data structure? When answering this question, explain the basic principles of each data structure, including how elements are added and removed. You may also want to provide an example of when you've used each data structure in a project. A common question related to algorithms is, how would you implement a binary search algorithm? Start by explaining what a binary search algorithm does and its time complexity. Then provide a step-by-step walkthrough of how you would implement the algorithm in code. You may also be asked about your experience with databases, such as, what is the difference between a relational and non-relational database? Start by explaining the basic principles of each type of database, including how data is stored and queried. You may also want to provide an example of when you've used each type of database in a project and the benefits it provided. Finally, you may be asked about your experience with version control systems, such as, how do you use Git to manage code changes? Start by explaining the basic concepts of Git, including branching, merging, and committing. You may also want to provide an example of how you've used Git in a project and the benefits it provided.
These are just a few examples of the types of technical questions you may encounter in a tech interview. Remember to practice your responses ahead of time and be prepared to explain your thought process and reasoning behind your answers. Good luck!